So the way I have this set up is for the startup and the exhaust off the pump is they normally run this bleeder right here. They run it up to the head and they bleed the head. Well, with this being a three-phase motor, I have a DSP or DPS converter is what I have here, and it converts the single phase coming in to a three-phase coming out, and it goes to a mag start. And then I have these two timers here, so when it fires, this valve opens and it allows the motor to come up to RPM. The valve opens up for 2.5 seconds, and it takes 2.5 seconds for it to come up to full speed. And then it starts building, it closes and starts building. Then when it comes up to 175, the valve opens again. That's what the other timers were. The valve opens again and it discharges the whole top end of the pump. Is what it does. So yeah, this is a Ingersoll 7100 pump. This is a pretty big pump. It is, let me grab the paperwork here. All right, the paperwork says it is a 5.5 inch first stage, 3 inch second stage, 4 inch stroke. So when it's running on 440 at 1100 RPM, it runs at 50 CMF at 175. So I have been doing some gearing with it. Let me show you what I got there. So that's the original pulley, which is 11.5 inches. And at 11.5 inches at 17, I forget what it was. I forget what the motor is. What's the motor? The motor is 1770 on the RPM. So 1770. So what I ended up doing is I picked up one of these little guys here from Harbor Freight. Oh my God, it works awesome. I put a little strip on the motor and just held it down inside there to see what it was running at, and it's actually running at 1786 is what it's running at. So I go on online and just go to a Pulley calibrator. So with this one here, being on a 220, the 220 doesn't have enough power to start it with that pulley. I had it running, but once you get up to pressure, it doesn't have enough to go from 140 to 170. I mean, it will if it's turning, if it's already turning, yes, but to get it to start was the problem. So then I went down to a 8.5 inch pulley, which that gives me the proper 10 horsepower, 175 at 800 RPM, which means the pump spins at 800 RPM, which will give me 36.5. So that's what that one gave me, the 8.5. So I found that one. This is a 9 3/4. It would still do it okay. It'd still fire with no problem. It gave me, I can't remember what it was. It was like 996 on the RPM. But it just little too much draw is what it was. I didn't want to burn stuff up here. So the pulley I have on there right now is actually a 9 inch pulley. Yes, it's only 3/4 of an inch smaller than that one there. It fires perfect. It starts perfect. It runs perfect. And I'm still running about, I think it was 940 is what the pump's running at. So that should put me pretty close to probably 40 CMF. So it takes 48 seconds to go from 140 to 170. So 175. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll run it for a little bit before I get rid of my old one. We'll run it for a little bit and see what I can do.